Okay, here we are on Chapter 3, The Fundamentals of Algebra. This is Section 3.5 on Solving Equations Involving Integers, Part 2. So basically what we're doing is we're using everything we've learned on how to solve equations, including adding like terms and putting it all together into this section. And so what we're going to do is we need to solve for the variables that are given. And so in this case, we have x's on the left, numbers on the right. So what we need to do is combine like terms because those are like terms. And so if we take and do 4 minus 5, that gives us a negative x equals a negative 3. Now, what we can do is we can multiply both sides by a negative 1. And when we do that, that gives us x equals 3. And that then would be our solution. Now, does that work if we check it? Well, 4 times 3 minus 5 times 3 equals negative 3. So that's 12 minus 15 minus 3 equals minus 3. That checks out. Okay. What about the next one? Well, we've got like terms there, and then those are like terms. Well, that means I have to get rid of this to get it over here with that one because I want numbers on one side and variables on the other. So to do that, I need to subtract 7. Okay. And at the same time, I'm going to add 6 minus 9. So 6 minus 9 is a negative 3x equals 4 minus 7 is a negative 3. Now to solve for x, I've multiplied by negative 3. So to get rid of that, I have to divide by negative 3. Okay. And when I divide negative 3 by negative 3 on both sides, I get x equals 1. That is the solution I come up with. Now if I check that, 6 times 1 plus 7 minus 9 times 1 equals 4. Well, that's 6 plus 7 minus 9 equals 4. Well, this is going to be minus 9 plus 7 is going to be a negative 2, is going to be negative 2 plus 6, that's going to be 4 equals 4, and that works. Okay. What about this one? Well, here I've got a variable here and a number here. So I have to get rid of the number because I want it over here because that's really a number and that's a number. So I have to add 17 to both sides. So that gives me 17x equals 17. Now if I multiply by 17 here, I have to divide by 17 there. And so x equals 1 here as well. So does that check? 17 times 1 minus 17 equals 0. Well, 17 minus 17 equals 0. 0 equals 0. So yes, that does check. All right, what about here? Well, here I've got x, here I've got x, and there's a 2. So I need to get this x to the other side. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Now those are gone, so on the right I get a negative 2, and over here I have like terms, so I can take a minus 5 plus 3 gives me minus 2x. Now this says I took a negative 2 times x, so to get rid of that or undo it, I have to divide by a negative 2. And so when I do that, I get x equals 1, because negative 2 divided by negative 2, the negatives cancel, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now does that check? Minus 5 times 1. And we kind of wrote that a little bit backwards, but it's negative 3 times 1, same thing. So minus 5 equals a minus 3 minus 2. Minus 5 equals minus 5. That checks. All right, what about here? Well, it looks like I have x's and numbers here. So if I get rid of 4x here and get rid of it here, those are gone. And on the left, I have a negative 9. On the right, I got 3x minus 4x. And so that's a negative x. So I multiply by a negative 1. So if I divide by negative 1, then I get x equals negative divided by negative is positive. 9 divided by 1 is 9. And so that says my solution is 9. So does 4 times 9 minus 9 equal 3 times 9? Well, 36 minus 9 equals 27. 27 equals 27. That checks. Okay. What about the next one? Okay, well here I can go either direction. I can take the x's to the right and the numbers to the left, or I can take the x's to the left and the numbers to the right. It doesn't really matter. If you want to have positive x's, I would say then add 3x to both sides. And when you do that, you can also add 5 to both sides. And that cancels that. That cancels that. And over here we have 6 plus 5 is 11. 3 minus 2 is 1. And so we just get x. And so we get x equals 11. So minus 3 times 11 plus 6 equals minus 2 times 11 minus 5. So it's a minus 33 plus 6 equals a minus 22 minus 5. Well, that one's easy. That's a minus 27. And 6 from that, it's going to give me a minus 27 as well. Okay. Now I'll pause there and I'll come back with more.